I know you're big on Texas Tech.
Here we go. We haven't even spoken about it yet.
We're 14 minutes in, and I'm a Texas Tech fan now. Go ahead, read it, Jake.
Quote, I know you're big on Texas Tech. So here, let me tell you why BYU is going to win.
Wait, did you just call me fat?
Yeah. Hey, I know you're fat on Texas Tech, but a few game notes. Bachmeier has poise, arm talent, and he's tough. JoJo Phillips, so 3 wide receivers strong. LJ Martin is playing, and we huddle up. Control pace of play. So you're saying you're going to park the bus and suffocate them by holding the ball?
Look, I appreciate all the BYU fans who have told me how stupid I am this week. Totally get it. You know, the things I say about BYU, Lavelle's rolling over in his grave. Totally get it. I am a POS. I'm a jerk. Everybody hates me. I totally get it. I, for the life of me, and this is just my opinion, I don't know how you look at this defense at Texas Tech and believe that an injured LJ Martin and a quarterback who, when throwing the ball, because I'll be honest with you, looking at Texas Tech's defense last night, and you start looking at the way that Texas Tech contains quarterbacks, if I am Texas Tech, I am selling out to stop the run, even more than I usually do. Go ahead and beat me, Bear. Go ahead and beat me. I am going to contain him. I'm going to set hard edges, especially to the left. I am not going to let him get out defensive line left, offensive set right. Because he tends to, you're certainly, if you're a BYU fan, you understand you're not running between the tackles in this game. That is just not how you beat Texas Tech. That's not how you attack this defense. But nobody has questioned Bear Bachmeier's poise. He does not have, at this moment, significant arm talent. He has not evolved to that point. And again, because I think you think I'm a Texas Tech fan, I'm going to tell you, I've watched every one of his throws multiple times. It is not that difficult to do. It is on YouTube. They're all over the place. He clearly is more comfortable throwing the ball to his left. There is no doubt about that. And here is my biggest concern, singular biggest concern. Can Bear Bachmeier operate under center, and can you run the ball out of gun? Can you run the ball out of shotgun? I think it's a huge question against Texas Tech's defense. That is, without a doubt, the most stout run defense that you're going to see here. It's not even close that this is the best run defense you've seen. And we're going to find out Saturday morning in Lubbock. I believe that game kicks off at 3 a.m. Pacific time.
Make sure you have your coffee ready.
But I think you start looking at the way that Bear Bachmeier plays. If I'm Texas Tech, I am forcing BYU to throw the ball to win. It is just, I don't know why you would do it, why you would attack this game any other way. Just based on the things that we have seen and the way that, we've seen Bear mature and grow. I mean, he's ready for the moment. I don't know that he's ready for the ferocity that Texas Tech brings up front. That's the biggest question I have.
I think Bear has to play a mistake-free game for them to win. I mean, that's the only way. I mean, I agree, you're not going to run between the tackles, nor should you be trying to be, in my opinion, which BYU seemingly disagrees with. But if I'm BYU, I'm not running between the tackles very often, generally speaking. But then, secondly, I think that this game will test Aaron Roderick's play calling ability and his patience, because on some level, you're gonna have to get the Tech defense to honor the pass at some point, because if you can't even do that, then this won't be a close game, right? I mean, if Tech is if Tech is just playing man single high safety most of the game, I mean, you're not gonna have a great chance in this game. You need them to play some zone. You need them to respect the pass more so you can run it better. And I don't know how you're going to do that other than going over the top early in the game and showing them that it's an actual threat. Because I think even if you were to run the ball successfully in this game, I still don't think that Texas Tech is scared of you going over the top or beating them in that way with the talent that they have in their secondary. So that to me is the biggest concern, is like, okay, great. Let's say it all goes perfect and LJ's got 150, which he won't, but let's say he did, and they had to step up to the line of scrimmage. I mean, do we really sit here and think that Bear Bachmeier is going to be able to find, his guy down the sideline 30 yards down the field? Do we really think? I mean, that's what's going to have to happen here against this defense in Lubbock. I mean, that's a tall task.
Well, and I also think as a guy that is a younger quarterback, I mean, you just know that most of his big plays have come left. I mean, if you watch the Utah game, every one of his big throws was to the left. And I'm not saying that, hey, he can't throw it right. He is not going to throw it right with consistency. He is so much better doing everything to his left that I think you have to force him to move to his right. And you have to set an edge and make him play to your tendencies. But if you are, I love what Jacob Robinson said this week about earning the ability to rush the passer. That happens when you stop the run. And if you can do that, if you can stop the run against BYU, this is going to be a very long night, or morning for the Cougars. Because I think if the Utah game is any indication, everything he does well goes to his left. And I think we learned very quickly that LJ is a guy that has to be healthy enough to carry the ball in this game often. I mean, it's so crystal clear that you have to have the ability to get the ball to two guys, LJ Martin, both with the run and the pass, and Parker Kingston short middle. And if you can do that, you're going to win games. My biggest fear for Bear Bachmeier is you're not going to be able to run the ball out of gun. And all they do with Bear, and we've gotten into this thing in football now where all we want to do is be shotgun. Let's get in shotgun. I'm telling you, it just exposes your tendencies and your weaknesses, and you provide that tape to a defense the caliber of Texas Tech. Like if I'm sitting here looking at Bear Bachmeier film last night and LJ Martin film last night, and I'm watching their tendencies in gun, I'm just a dumbass that does a talk show. What do you think guys at Texas Tech are going to do? I think it's going to be very, very difficult. So I would love to see them work in sets where Bear is under center. I just don't know that they will do that.
Yeah, I don't know that he's there yet. And that's what I'm saying. Hey, maybe, I mean, I'll even say this. I'm happy to be wrong on Monday. I am. Like, if they win this game, I will be incredibly happy for BYU. I mean, it would be, to me, this is the most important game Kalani Sitake has ever coached. Well,
I think it's for both sides, though, Jake. I think this is without question the biggest game for both these coaches. I think it's the biggest game in the history of Texas Tech football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have a doubt about that. And if Texas Tech loses this game, I don't know that they're going to lose again, but their season's over. If they lose this game, and I know a lot of Texas Tech fans told me I don't know what I'm talking about, but I was looking at the numbers this morning on playoff percentages and you already look that Texas Tech is now, right now, 51.6% opportunity to go to the playoff. What does that number do if they lose? Doesn't it go to 0? I mean, you'll have no chance to make the playoff if you lose this game. It would be absolutely devastating to the current incarnation of Texas Tech football if they lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
I hope it doesn't happen. I truly hope it does not happen, because I think you look at these percentages, then you see BYU at 74.1, and you see Texas Tech at 51.6. Man, you lose this game, it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. I mean, you look at the Utes with 2 losses, 15%. That they've got to be perfect. And at a minimum, you're going to have to win out. And I don't even know, Texas Tech can win out and they still won't get in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It is. I really, if Joey loses this game, I think it's, if I'm Joey, I'm coaching like I'll get fired if I lose this game. Like, that's the seriousness level that I would have been treating this week with. Not to say that they weren't taking it seriously, but just personally internally, I would have been like, yeah, if I lose, it's a must-win game. If I lose this game, like, I should just be done. Like, you got to win this game. This is a signature game. This is at home, at your place, against a good football team, a team that is capable of beating you. But again, if you're a college football playoff worthy team, you will win this game at your place. It's just one of those games for Texas Tech.
I think BYU fan that hears me talk about BYU believes that I don't like BYU, or it's not a like or hate thing. This is what I've seen them do this year, what I've seen in film study, what I've seen, the tendencies that are emerging. This team doesn't beat Texas Tech without a significant contribution from LJ Martin. And BYU fan is wants to talk about JoJo coming back. Well, I'm telling you right now, what you cannot do in this game if you're BYU is throw balls up and hope that they're caught. You go back to the West Virginia game or the Colorado game. You go back to some of the deep balls that Bear hit early in this year. There was a lot of hope in those throws. His win has been they're not asking him to read defenses. And looking at it last night and looking at just the way that Bear goes about his plays, go back and watch the Utah game. If you want to see exactly what I'm talking about, go back and watch the Utah game and just watch Bear's head and watch. And what you're going to see is that he's not reading defenses. He's reading his wide receiver. That is it. Like, and everybody got so boned over Bear jumping over the BYU or the Utah safety. Do you know how close that was to an absolute catastrophic injury? That you don't want to see that out of Bear. I'm just going to continue to tell you, you don't want to see that out of him. And I know that excites people, and I understand why. You don't want Bear Bachmeier taking hits. You do not want Bear Bachmeier jumping over safeties where he lands on the ground and then gets his legs taken out by another defender. You just don't want to see that. And if you look at the first touchdown he throws to Chase, bro, that is just simply turning and throwing the football. He's not reading, which is fine. It's fine. But don't get this twisted, BYU fan. It works because it is very simple. It works because LJ had a massive game. You're not going to be able to run the ball inside on Texas Tech. That'll be, if you want to watch this game for a tendency or a something, how many yards are made in inside of the tackle box? How many yards can BYU get LJ Martin into that counter play out of the shotgun against an elite defensive line?
Less than 50.
That might be, if it's more than 50, BYU will blow out Texas Tech. If BYU gains 50 yards between the tackles, they will blow out Texas Tech. Very simply put, if they run for 50 yards between the tackles, BYU will win this game by 17 points. But nobody has done that to this defense. And when you look at the counter play that LJ's had so much success on, gun, handoff to LJ. He runs inside angle off of the left shoulder of the guard in the A gap. Right? Center, A gap, guard, B gap, tackle. Right? He's running off of that left shoulder of the guard and then cutting back, because BYU has a very dynamic offensive line that moves very well. But you didn't see that against Utah. You didn't see that counter against Utah. Why is that? Because they have very aggressive mobile linebackers. Same thing at Texas Tech, but I think a more physical defensive line and much more one of the things that was really disappointing about Utah's defense, where they were very over aggressive. Again, dropping your head and allowing Bear to jump over you is being very over aggressive and really technique shit is what that is. You're not going to get that from Texas Tech in the biggest game that I think they probably have ever played, is what this will amount to. That's how this game's going to be won and lost, right? That is the beginning and the end of this, right? But I think BYU has to continue to be very simple when Bear throws the ball. And again, here we are on Thursday at 3:30 in the afternoon Mountain Time. He will throw the majority of his stuff left, and they will use that play. And here's another thing you can watch. Is there room behind the defensive line, but in front of the linebackers, to throw that football? Because again, if I am Texas Tech, I am selling out to stop the run. He is not going to beat me running the ball, Bear, because it's really the only thing he does at an elite level is he runs the ball well. And I can tell you one thing, you go watch that Texas Tech defense, they hit the fucking quarterback. They don't care. They do not care. If you're going to read option them, they're going to hit you. We have seen that. Watch the Utah film on the Texas Tech defense, repeatedly hitting the quarterback, and not lightly. All right, Bear has taken, I think, 3, from what I saw, I think he's taken 3 really mollywop kind of hits. 2 of them were in the Utah game. And he probably should have come out of the Utah game for a snap. He did not. But I'm very curious to see how much punishment he absorbs against that Texas Tech front. Very curious. Okay, I'll stop talking now because I feel like I've just run on. But
well, I just think I'm just sitting here reading all the BYU fans telling themselves stories about how BYU also has nothing to lose. You know, really a 5-point dog. BYU can pitch like that lefty who pitches backwards. Game plan's wide open. No,
what is wait a minute. Explain that to me. What does that mean? BYU can pitch backwards. What does that mean? I truly have no idea what that means. BYU is not deep in a playbook. I can tell you they have probably 7 to 9 sets where they're really comfortable and they feel like they can execute any play out of those 7 to 9 sets against any defense. So I don't know and I don't know who said that.
This guy here, Ray McCoy.
Well, right here, he's telling you what he doesn't know. You're not passing first with Bear Bachmeier. If your idea is to come into this game and have him throw the ball all over the field, one, he's never done that, not one time this entire season. They tried that. They wanted to go much more aggressive passing at Arizona. And how did that work out? Because the one thing we haven't seen BYU do yet, or the one situation they haven't put themselves in yet, much to their credit, is they have not been behind multiple scores and had to abandon the run to throw the football. That we have not seen. And I don't know that we'll see that this weekend, because I think this is going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a very close game. But anybody telling you to pass first and run second, you're out of your fucking mind. Because
well, I think BYU fans lean on the Iowa State game, right? I think BYU fan wants to say, oh, well, didn't Bear bring them back from behind against that Iowa State defense? And it's like, yeah, but you can't seriously be comparing Iowa State's defense with all the injuries. And, you know, I mean, I think generously saying that defense in totality is at 50% maybe in that game. You can't seriously be considering, you know, comparing those two. I mean, Tech's defense is just superior. It's more talent, it's more discipline, it's faster. Like,
I don't even think it's that. I think what it is when you look at where Bear fits in, and you start asking yourself, okay, well, what do we know about Bear's ability right now? We are very in the passing game. We're going to get rid of the football. We're going to get rid of the football. There's a reason he is, when you look at PFF, I think his passing grade is 81st in the country, which for a freshman is not bad at all. It's not bad at all. But one of the things that you see is he is a much higher rated runner than he is a passer. He is a 79 runner, and he is a 74 passer. Well, there's a reason for that, because he's a really good, what's the right way? He is still an awkward guy, an awkward athlete running the ball, but he makes the right read running the ball, right? He knows when to let it go. He knows when to tuck it and run. He's very confident in his ability to run the football. So he does that well. But you start looking at some of his game breakdowns, and you start looking at the balance in the offense. Like if we look at, and hey, listen, Iowa State is a very good example of this. And I think it's really important that you understand this difference. Okay. You look at Iowa State, 35 attempts, 62%, right? 307 yards. But if we really get into that game, and you really start looking at what we learned about Bear in that game, I think one of the things that's very clear is that play underneath over the middle is his exit route. That is where he throws that ball underneath. I think that is without question, no doubt about it. That is his bailout. And I think that when we start looking at how you reconcile who he is as a passer, even in the Iowa State game, go look at the big plays. Go look at the plays where he succeeded. A lot of his success was left, and a lot of his success was field position, because the BYU defense did a great job. After that initial score, I think on the first throw of the game, if I remember right, where Beck hits that receiver down the left-hand side, and he's wide open, and it's a great throw. And okay, cool. After that score, look at the field position. One, you tied the game. Do you guys remember the first BYU touchdown of the Iowa State game? Well, it was a running play off right tackle. Touchdown, right? And then you're now down 10-7. They score, so you're down 17-7. You're down one touchdown, right? You get a field goal, you're 17-10. Rocco runs it in. I think Rocco Beck scored that 24-10 touchdown, right? And so you're down 24-10. What immediately changed? Well, we immediately started throwing the ball left, and we immediately saw Parker Kingston coming out of groups and the route tree changed dramatically. And then what did we see to take the lead? So you got a touchdown, you got a field goal, and how did they take the lead? Bears started running the ball. 27-27. We're tied. What's he do? He throws a Hail Mary that should have been intercepted, and Parker Kingston makes a fucking unbelievable catch on a ball that had no business being completed, but it was. Don't take it away from him, right? And then what happened? And what happened when it was 34-27? What happened? BYU picked off a play on an unbelievable interception. Runs it back. BYU blows out Iowa State. BYU fan wants to tell you that all of a sudden, oh, Bear just threw it all over the place and we just were, well, that's not what happened. Go look at the Parker Kingston touchdown. And it is truly, he is on, because mechanically, here are his flaws mechanically. He locks his front leg when he throws on his front leg. What does that mean? Have you guys ever heard that? Lock leg thrower. He's a lock leg thrower off the front leg. So he is always, the ball is always released right here. So what happens to the ball? The ball goes up a little bit before it goes out. So when he throws that touchdown, where Kingston makes a great catch, the ball's short and behind Kingston. And it's on the wrong shoulder because Parker's got the guy. He's got inside left leverage. The guy is right here. The ball is thrown right here. Kingston makes a great adjustment, makes the play. The ball needs to be like here. And it's just not, because he's a front leg. He's a locker of his front leg. And so the ball comes out late. Does this mean that he's a bad quarterback? Not by any stretch of the imagination. But to your point, BYU fan wants to tell you that Bear Bachmeier threw the ball all over the field and we came back, and it's not what happened. That's not what happened. You made your field goals. LJ ran for that touchdown. Bear ran for that touchdown. And you caught a Hail Mary that was a 50-50 ball at best. And I can't play the highlight for you because it's copyrighted. But if you go back and look at the Parker Kingston touchdown, not the one in the back of the end zone, that was a great throw. But if you go look at that 50-50 Hail Mary, Texas Tech is probably at least breaking that up.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to get those kind of plays this week. That's my concern, is that
I would agree.
And I also think that the Texas Tech defense is probably twice as aggressive as Iowa State ever was.
Yeah. And I just think Bear is not capable of operating at this point in his maturity where he is. And I give Aaron Roderick a lot of credit for diagnosing this. He's not capable, in my opinion, mentally at this point, Bear, of rolling pocket right, pause, let the ball go. That's not who this dude is. That is just not who this dude is. So I much more feel like he has to tailor his game plan to what Bear does well. That throw right behind the linebacker there, that throw is only open because, one, you have a running back that's a threat in the flat, right? So that weak side linebacker can't squeeze Kingston. And then you're sending, usually Chase Robertson, whoever your chosen tight end is, you're sending Chase on a go route, and you're sending the tight end on kind of an in route, right? So that's going to take the corner there. That's going to hold the safety up here. And now Parker Kingston's open in the middle of the field. And I think we've seen that 3 times that I can remember go for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. So I give Aaron Roderick a lot of credit for the design and understanding what the offense he has to build to be around Bear's abilities. And most of Bear's ability problems are in his mind. He just has not grown yet and matured yet. That's all I'm saying. Aaron, oh, look at that. Aaron Wilson for $2. America's favorite mailman. Aaron, you're the resident Texas Tech expert. How you feeling, dude?
Yeah.
Like, how are you feeling about this game?
Yeah, by the way, how's the mail route too, dude? How's things?
Yeah, we haven't seen much of you, man. We have not seen much of you. So good to see you, man. And I'm happy to have the conversation. Christian Argyle, dude passing all over the field last game. No, he wasn't. Bro, I watched every one of his throws last
Do
night.
you
in that
guys
game.
watch different games? Like, do you guys
Like-
literally there's one game on TV that the kid plays in every week, and you're out here saying he was passing all over the field.
Go get on YouTube. Get on YouTube. And if you go, or if you get on, I'm sure CBS Sports, ESPN, I mean, everybody's got the go.
YouTube is the best place to get all of his throws. Go and find them. It's not hard to find, dude.
And I'm just telling you, if you look at their plays, even the Kingston touchdown, the route on the Kingston touchdown is a great route, in my opinion. The scheme of that play is really good. But you look at how open he is. I mean, there's not a cyclone. And again, they're injured. I don't care.
Doesn't matter. It's guys on the field, right?
It's who's on the field. Depth is part of being a really good football team. Parker Kingston runs an up and left in the back of the end zone, and Bear put it on him. It's a really good throw. So, but is that throwing the football all over the field? No, he did not throw the football all over the field. He did not. And again, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to continue to tell you, LJ Martin, that run where he jumps back inside it through the tackle gap to tie the game at 7, that was the run that really set the tone for their offense, because it showed that you could run
that against Tech.
That's my concern. I think they're going to have to play much further on the outside. BYU will.
I just don't know why. The game plan damn well better be we're gonna run a zone running scheme concept to the edges of the field. We are going to take our offensive line and we're going to shift that thing after the snap. We're going to get our guys to run to the left or to the right, and we're going to go man on man. And we're going to let LJ figure out where that gap is. I want nothing to do with Texas Tech and that defensive line just man on man, go straight forward. I want to be playing these guys on the run, hat on a hat, let LJ find the gap. That's how I'd be running the football in this game. And make them prove that they can still stop you. Make them prove they can. Bro, if they can stop you that way, then you're going to have to figure it out in game. But I just think with the talent that BYU has, it would behoove them to go that route instead of just saying, hey, put him under center. We're just going to turn around, hand it off, and run straight ahead. That's not, to me, I just don't think that that's the way you want to go here, both because I think you'll get beat, that defensive line will beat your offensive line. But secondly, LJ can't take that kind of a beating the whole game. You can't expect that out of him this week. Like, you can't.
This is the Parker Kingston touchdown in the back of the end zone. Look how open he is. Great throw. Look how open he is. He ran right by everybody. They never went with him. So I say this because, again, what side of the end zone is he on? Right?
Here's on the left side.
That's Bear Bachmeier throwing the ball to his left, and he's comfortable doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to tell you that's a problem, because I think it's good design and good understanding of who your players are. But again, I also think when you start to understand how this offense is working right now, I mean, they dominated Iowa State up front. The Bear Bachmeier 27-24 touchdown where he ran it in is unbelievable. And the other thing is, like, if we're going to say that the Hail Mary he threw up was only because he had a blitz in his face, let's understand how that happened, though. Because I watched that play a bunch of times. The problem with that theory is, and I don't even disagree that he had pressure, and I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I want you to understand that the problem with that theory is, multiple BYU blockers missed the blitz pickup. So what does that tell you? And I think this is important if this image would ever load. What does this photo right here tell you? This is the what I call the Hail Mary, or at least what I wrote down as a Hail Mary. Well, 12 and 20 at the top on 31. First of all, he's not getting pressure when he throws the ball. That is not a guy in his face. He had plenty of time to release the ball. Where is he releasing the ball from? He's releasing it off his back leg, and look at the trajectory of his elbow. He's throwing that ball up in the air. And the biggest problem is you have two guys who were lined up on the wrong side of the formation. Wrong side of the formation completely. And again, I'm going to tell you, and I know you don't like it and it probably pisses you off, but again, I'm going to tell you, they're lined up on the wrong side of the formation. What does that mean when I say that? What that means is Bear didn't read this blitz pre-snap. That's what should scare you. He did not, because the blitz, I'll be honest with you, the blitz is not disguised. And I told you yesterday on the show, he is not a very good, you do not have to disguise Bear Bachmeier to beat him on blitz.
Facts.
And these are the things that scare you. And I'm going to show this to you. And let me see if I can get the pre-snap for you. Because again, this is all on YouTube. I hope that you understand that. This is all on YouTube. It is not hard to get. Let me show you that play pre-snap, because I think this is incredibly important to understand. This is what not disguising your blitz because you don't respect the quarterback looks like. Okay? And this is not I'm not insulting Bear Bachmeier. I am simply explaining to you why I am leaning Texas Tech. Look at the pre-snap. Look at the tight end, number 20 on the, where it says 3rd and 6 on the field there on the 3rd. You see him offset? He is off the line of scrimmage. The problem is the blitz is coming from the guy at the top of the screen. This is pre-snap. He's not moving. What should Bear Bachmeier have done here? He should have moved his tight end over. Right? He should have moved his tight end over, and then this never happens. This never happens.
So go back. So look at how bad the back gets beat here, though. Right?
It is really bad.
So,
it is really, really bad.
And I just, so go back to the other one, the pre-snap one. Look at the defender. Look at his stance.
He's
like
coming.
He's not hiding. He's not. There's no like, oh yeah, like I'm definitely gonna chip Parker here. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not even looking at Parker Kingston. You're sitting here inside the hash as a DB when there's only two guys on that side of the field. This is my point about Bear. To your point, like he's not yet reading, right? He's just
Correct.
making sure that he's, because what I guarantee you, what Bear Bachmeier saw here, he didn't see the blitzer to his left. What he saw was this group of, if you look at the Big 12 logo on the field, this group of 4 linebackers and the 3 linebackers in the DB here, right? Yeah. Don't mind the guy that's standing by the official. That's just a safety. But this group of 4 guys here is what Bear's looking at. He's not looking to his left.
And look what happens.
That's the problem.
Look what happens to those 4 guys. You have 31 who's blitzing clearly. Look at 47, right? 47 is standing on the blue arrows where it says 3rd and 6 and those 2 blue arrows. You see that right there? Where does he go? He goes right into the A gap. Right? So he's not the guy you have to worry about. Very clearly here, you needed to move that tight end. So what happens to the throw that you said was a great throw? Right? I'm just the asshole. This is a great throw. It is short. And Parker Kingston makes an unbelievable play to bring that in and have it be.
But we're not hating. This is what I'm talking about with BYU fan. This is what bothers me.
Nobody's hating.
We're not hating, dude. This is the conversation about BYU winning this game. Like, don't come to this show if you want us to gloss Bear Bachmeier, he's a good
Or
quarterback.
any other quarterback.
Yeah, or any
I'm
other
not
quarterback,
gonna-
but in this
I'm
case,
not-
Bear. Like,
I'm not kissing anybody's ass, dude. This is what I am telling you is all I am illustrating with this. I'm worried about Bear Bachmeier's inability to read a defense, make pre-snap adjustments, because I don't care who you are. If you are a starting quarterback, you need to be able to move your back and your tight end to give you protection. And the biggest problem is when you leave your tight end on the right in a clear, putting him in the clear. The biggest issue is now your tight end overran the blitz pickup because he was late and he had to diagnose it himself. And so Bear winds up throwing off of his back leg. And again, this is why I pulled this clip. Yes, he threw off his back foot.
But here's the thing. Again.
What is off? And again, hold on, Zach. What is off base about what I've said here? I'm here for this argument today, you guys. I am locked and loaded. I have watched every one of his snaps. I have watched every one of his snaps multiple times. I understand his tendencies. I know his strengths and I know his weaknesses. And I am telling you, I have covered the game of football for 30 years. He should have moved. He should have adjusted to that. And what he didn't need to do was throw off his back foot. What should he have done here?
Checked Parker Kingston to a slant because the safety was blitzing and the field would have been wide open.
Could have done that, or slide up in the pocket. You've got time. 31 is so over aggressive on the blitz. You have a route. I think it's 3 yards. That gap between the right tackle and number 26 and number 12 is 3 yards. According to ChatGPT last night. It's 3 yards. He could have slid up and thrown the ball because my guess is Parker would have gone out. He was going to, just based on the way he ran the route, he was going to fade to the left side of the end zone. So if you throw that ball to the middle left of the end zone, that's a touchdown. But I am telling you right now, Bear Bachmeier is a hell of a quarterback. He is a really good quarterback who I believe is going to have some struggles in Lubbock because as much as I believe this is a historic moment for BYU football, this defense at Texas Tech is really, really good. It is really, really good. No time have I said that Bear Bachmeier sucks or he can't play or.
No, the issue is that people don't want to have just an honest conversation. I feel like anytime, and this isn't unique to BYU fan, right? I mean, this is Utah fan. This is all kind of fan, right? Anytime you point out the fact that, hey, like the pressure was obviously coming from the left. You had enough protection on your right to get the job done, to give you enough time to get a clean throw off, and you just didn't identify the pressure coming from the left. But you got bailed out because your boy made a play, and that's totally fine. But that play is not going to be made against Tech.
And why don't you run the football in that situation? Like there's so much, it's just inexperience.
Yeah, which again, is fine. He's a freshman.
He's growing, clearly. But what I'm telling you is Tech's not going to give you that opportunity. Texas Tech is not going to give you the opportunity to throw a fly ball that is well short. Thankfully, it was short enough that it gave Parker time to make a play on, because it was up and it was short. And it gave Parker time to adjust. He's a fantastic receiver. He's a guy that does not get talked about enough. I will tell you that. And I think it is very interesting because the other thing I think you're seeing, and it's pretty routine now, is especially I would say if I look at, I don't think he changed a single play against Colorado. I think they started experimenting with it in West Virginia. And then Arizona, Parker made a lot of mistakes in the Arizona, or Bear made a lot of mistakes in the Arizona game. especially in the first half, and he just essentially stopped throwing the ball. But that was the rain delay game, and in the Utah game, I think he checked out of 3 plays. But in the Iowa State game, he just didn't check enough. And again, to my point, it's the mental maturity that a freshman brings to you. And especially a freshman who you didn't drill all summer long on things like reading defenses and optioning and checking out of and moving tight ends and backs. That's what he didn't get, because all of that time and all of that preparation was going into Jake Retzloff. And then sex happened and Jake's at Tulane and Bear Bachmeier's your starter. It's not like we're saying it's his fault, but what I'm telling you is you cannot make the mistakes he made against Iowa State. He's got to clean a lot of that up. To win this game, Bear's got to clean a lot of that up and be significantly better pre-snap than he was against Iowa State. Because you're just not going to compete. If he does not make better adjustments pre-snap, they will get blown out in Lubbock. That is almost certainly going to happen. That is simply and positively not the case. Got bad news for you. That is not the case. That is you absolutely, it's not, you can't have film study in the offseason. It's mandatory. Why do you think every BYU quarterback goes and visits John Beck? I'm sorry, who's John Beck? Oh, the former BYU quarterback, an NFL quarterback. What's he doing now? Oh, that's right. He's one of the foremost throwing coaches in the world for quarterbacks, and him and a guy named Tom House. Do you think John Beck and the BYU coaches talk? I think they do. I'm going to guess they do. Do you think those iPads they give them are just loaded with porn or... No, guy, they give them iPads. They give them iPads with certain tape and film. And did you know, I know this is crazy. Did you know that those iPads are connected to the cloud? I know. Holy shit. You mean you can update those iPads? What?
Well, listen, I think this is the best comment we've had of the day right here, dude. Right here. Crazy that Retzloff's wiener really thwarted his QB trajectory, huh?
First of all, Geoff, dude, good to see you. Second of all, this is a national championship caliber team with the Jake Retzloff we've seen this year at Tulane.
Final.
This team would be, if Jake Retzloff was your quarterback, I would be picking BYU to win this game. Because he's just more experienced. He is the way that you beat a defense like Texas Tech is you are quick and you understand what that defense is trying to do to your offense. And Bear will not be in a position pre-snap to understand and diagnose their scheme and their disguise. Because it's actually really, really well done. I didn't think I would say this fast about Texas Tech. That defense actually moves and flows to the football with discipline and efficiency. It is really impressive to watch. Watch how disciplined they are with gap assignments. They don't overrun gaps. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Okay.
Oh boy.
We need to address this.
What?
I don't know who this is who's got a screenshot of your car with an OSU logo and the name, a member on this channel, the Stadium Gay James, have a charting group. I'll be back. Bro, I don't know who you are, but you are putting in a lot of effort right now.
That is a lot of effort. That is a whole lot of effort. You know, it is, this is a hater account. Oh my God. This is a hater account that's been named the Stadium Gay James for a long time. Okay. Wow. Funny enough, Retzloff's stats were better than his stats in the Alamo Bowl, and he got benched. I don't know. I would. Well, okay, sure. That's not me. Are you sure? Wait, are you sure? I don't. Are you sure? You know. Okay. Mark Hales, hello. Bear has erected his game to exceed the expectations.
All I have to say, BYU fan, is you better show up on Monday, one way or the other. One way or the other, you better be here, because I'm just telling you guys, you're all in here on your high horse for Bear Bachmeier. Guy hasn't played a defense as good as this one in a minute.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, bro. We will see what happens.
We'll see. I mean, I think Bear Bachmeier has a chance for it's all said and done to be the best quarterback that's ever played at BYU. He's got the courage for it, which is half the battle, right? I mean, having the courage and the chutzpah I think Bears got a lot of upside. A lot of upside. John says, I will be here Monday for better or for worse, but I want an apology when we win. Why would I apologize to you? Apology for what? Tech hasn't played Bear Bachmeier. So you can't be serious. You're not being serious, I don't think. I think when you look at the quarterbacks Texas Tech has faced, and it's the one that I always talk about, it's the loss at Arizona State and Sam Leavitt. And Sam Leavitt played exceptionally well in that game. And Sam Leavitt didn't run the ball a whole lot in that game. And I think he was only sacked 4 times. But we'll see, man. The proof is in the pudding. If and I think this game, after watching a lot of it, I think this game it's probably won and lost somewhere in the third quarter. Somebody will make a mistake in the third quarter, and I'll be really curious to see. Like, for instance, in the West Virginia game, the quick hitter touchdowns that BYU got over the top against West Virginia, I'm really curious to see if those are there against Texas Tech. I have a hard time believing that Texas Tech is going to give a quick in, wide open look, right? So I much more model Texas Tech's what Texas Tech brings based on what I saw against Utah. And I think some of the throws against Utah were very good. But again, what Bear Bachmeier does that breaks your back is he runs the football when you're thinking he's going to throw it. And he was able to gash Utah, who just simply did not tackle well. The 24-14, I think it was 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter when Bear pulled that ball down on a design run. Texas Tech's not giving you that touchdown. I mean, he's just not. You know, Morton couldn't move the ball versus Utah. Yeah, my biggest concern if I'm a Texas Tech fan is Baron Morton. I think Texas Tech has a quarterback problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've talked about that at length. This is how I know we're probably doing the show the right way. Texas Tech fan thinks we hate Texas Tech. BYU fan now thinks we hate BYU. And we're a Utah show. So I feel like
we're SEC homers. So,
you know, I feel like we're probably doing it right. I think that Baron Morton's a huge problem. Now, the problem for BYU is I think their weakness on defense is over the top. I think that we've seen a good part of the season now that you can beat BYU deep. And boy, does Baron Morton love throwing deep balls. And we'll see. BYU secondary, they're ball hawks. I mean, they got great hands. They They aren't generally over aggressive, so they're usually in the right spot. The other thing I love about BYU's secondary, they're not on the ground a lot. They're not guys that lay all over the place, or you don't see them diving in desperation very often. Like BYU's defense is so disciplined, and those guys in the secondary, they understand pre-snap tendencies. They're well studied. They're well prepared. So they're very rarely out of position. They're very rarely out of position, which has allowed them to, frankly, make a couple of just sensational plays in the secondary. Like it is going to be very interesting to see. See, Kurt, it's stuff like Bear is better than Manning. I know you're trolling. We get it. We played bad. BYU wasn't good. Literally every team that loses to BYU. I don't know if that's true. I mean, Iowa State was terrible. And frankly, it's why I keep saying that BYU's just a better team than Utah. Utah's defense did not tackle in their two biggest games of the year, the BYU game and the Texas Tech game. They did not tackle in either one of those games. Right now, here's a question. How many penalties does Texas Tech have in this game? Because
shouldn't be many.
Some of the penalties that they took, even like in the Arizona State game, you only had 5, but they were really stupid penalties. Like just like, I need to fart, so I'm going to get out of my stance and have a false start. Like, what are you even listening for? Like, just really stupid penalties. And it's haunted Texas Tech all season long. I mean, I go to discipline and mental toughness. And a lot of times in these bigger games, like, sure, you're not going to have a lot of penalties against the K-States of the world. K-State's not very good. Right? You're just not very good.
Keeping the bulk right now, we ass.
Yeah, I go look at the Houston game. How do you have 8 penalties for 65 yards against Houston? And you were really never in danger of losing that game. 8 penalties and 65 yards? And that's what's going to be. That's one of the things. If you're a BYU fan, count the penalties on Texas Tech, because Texas Tech will give you an opportunity. They'll help you a lot. TJ Beck, we love to beat deep, Monty. Hey, man.
Oh.
Randy Riding, Tech will cover in the first half and not look back. It's going to be interesting to see. I still can't find a way that, and I'll look at BYU's defense tonight. I can't find a way that Texas Tech scores 30 points in this game.
They're not scoring 30 points on a team that has had 2 weeks to prepare for them and has given up 30 points twice in the last 2 years. They're not scoring 30 in this game, dude.
And it's not like they don't play anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on.
It's
27-21 Tech, in my opinion. I think that there will be one Bear Bachmeier interception in this game. I think he will, on a 50-50 ball, very similar to the one we were discussing. I don't think it'll be maybe it's a terrible throw, but I don't think it will be. I think it'll be Tech making a good play to go and get the interception, not just like a gift of an interception.
Sure.
And I think that, there's a really good chance that, Baron Morton takes a couple of vicious hits in this game. And I'm not confident that he survives the game. If he doesn't survive the game, BYU will walk away easily in this game. If he does survive the game, then we're having a different conversation.
Yeah, we'll look at it. I think I want to see who's the leading tackler for BYU's defense. Because I think Glasker's got to have multiple tackles for loss in this game, because he is when he's in the backfield, they're a different defense. He is so good. Isaiah Glasker is just that guy that every defense wants.
Stay hard.
And no offense wants to face, because he's just really disruptive. And he's not healthy. You can clearly see that Glasker's battling some stuff. But who isn't this time of year? right? Jacob Rodriguez is battling a bunch of stuff, but Isaiah Glasgow is just that guy that creates so many opportunities for other guys on that defense because he's just so damn disruptive. And that's who your leading tackler is. It's got to be the linebackers in this game. It cannot be the secondary. How many pass defenses are we going to get from BYU secondary? That scares you a little bit because, again, when I start looking at some of the numbers that really stand out to me is how many opportunities are you going to give a guy like Baron Morton to throw the ball 20, 25 yards down the boundary? Because that's going to beat you. If you're BYU and he is consistently having the opportunity to get the ball down the field, especially on the outside, that's not good. That's not good. And that's something that I really worry about. And now, is BYU going to hold Texas Tech under 200 yards a game for the game passing? No, I think BYU averages 189 yards a game passing on defense, giving up. You're probably going to give up 275, I would think. But you look at Texas Tech. Texas Tech gives up 197 yards a game through the air. But what they don't do is give up yards on the ground. Do you guys understand? This is by far, it's not close, the best run defense in the Big 12. 74 yards a game. They give up 74 yards a game. Does Aaron Roderick, the offensive coordinator at BYU, have the stones to keep running the ball? And can they find schemes and formations that allow LJ to get outside? And it's why the other day, a couple of people were like, oh, let's go jumbo. And you can't go jumbo here. You can't, because you can't have one of your wide receivers off the field to go two tight ends and another back, or you need to be able to collapse an edge rusher and allow LJ to get outside, because you're not running between the tackles in this game. You're not running between the tackles. I just think if you're doing that, if that's your game plan, man,
good luck.
That's something that I would really be worried about. And we'll see. I mean, I love this. It's going to be close. It is going to be close. And you have disruptive defenders on both sides of the ball. And I think the Kelly Glasgow combination, the Isaiah Glasgow is just such a ball breaker. I mean, you guys understand that this dude, I mean, he's got 2 sacks. He's got 34 tackles, 19 solos. For a guy that's used all over the formation. He's used in the middle, edges. They blitz him. He's an excellent run defender. I mean, he is really, really disruptive. And I think it's going to be really fun to see how he plays. And because you look at their bigger games and you look at the way that BYU's defense wins games, it's guys making big plays. It's guys taking interceptions you have no business intercepting, but you hand fought a guy and you won that, and then you took it to the house to seal the Iowa State game when you had no business making that play. BYU's defense is opportunistic. They're not going to get blown out in this game. I have a hard time seeing that.
They're definitely covering the 10.5.
I would think so. I would think so. And it'll be interesting to see, like, how disruptive is David Bailey in this game? How disruptive is, your best Jacob Rodriguez, who I think is top 5 linebackers in the country. Who has a better game, Rodriguez or Glasgow? Bailey, or like, who's going to have the game? who's going to make the play that ultimately changes the game? That's what I'm really curious about. So I could go on and on and on. I love it. I love these matchups. I love the way these games are played, and I think
it'll be a good one.
It's going to be incredibly close. It is going to be really, really close. And if BYU wins this game, it will be historic. It's certainly the biggest game of Kalani's career.
Yes.
And maybe post 84, this could be if they win this game, this could be the biggest win since the national championship.
Yeah, I mean, you were on the precipice of going to the CFP last year. Just couldn't finish it.
Couldn't close it.
Seems like this team's got a little bit better handle on it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I think I worry about Bear's ability to, because I really wanted him on that Iowa State play to run the ball, slide up if you really had to throw it, but you had a lot of real estate where you could have run that ball. That's what I'm curious, Aggie says Jack Kelly, big play this weekend, healthy after the bye helps a ton. The bye is huge.
Clutch.
I mean, it came at a fantastic time, really looking time, and a really good looking time. And I think when we get into ultimately when we roll up here Monday and we're talking about the aftermath of this game, Jack Kelly's probably going to have a real big spot on this show, because I think their defense is better when he's better. When him and Glasgow are on the field, disrupting, doing what Jay Hill asked them to do, BYU's defense is really tough. And my biggest question again is going to be, can Baron Morton get the ball down the field to the boundary, to those outside receivers? Because that's where BYU is susceptible defensively. That'll be the biggest thing. BYU will come out in a wishbone and eat all the tortillas.
Well, that's one way to go about it.
Okay. If this game goes to overtime, just put the linebackers from both teams in the middle of the field, do the Oklahoma drill. How awesome would that be? How awesome would that be? John says soaking is an old joke. Who's making soaking jokes? Come on. Aggie, what with Bears showing 2 weeks ago, the pass run game should be split more evenly. You cannot. Again, I understand why BYU fan wants to lean on that. Iowa State's defense was terrible. Go watch it. You watch the Parker Kingston touchdown in the back of the end zone, bro. He runs. It's not deceptive. Dude just runs a go route. And it's almost like he's like, well, shit, where'd everybody go? Better turn around.
Yeah, let me get my camp chair out and start a fire while I wait for the ball to get here, since I'm so wide open.
Like, I'm being serious, dudes. Look at how open he is.
How is he that open?
And he was, I'll remind you, he was the slot receiver on this play. It's not like he ran all the way from the right, and he was in the right slot and just ran right up the hash and faded to the left side of the end zone, and nobody covered him. Good throw. Put it on him. Good throw. You're not getting that in Lubbock. You're not getting that. Now, it's this that really worry me. Because if we're truth telling about this play right here, Bear should have never. Panicked is strong. Panicked is strong. He had a sense of urgency to just get the ball out of my hand. And in this moment, you'd really like him to step up, because if you look at the angle that 31 for Iowa State has here. If he steps up, it helps his pass pro, his blitz pickup. And look at the wall that BYU has created. Now, who knows? 47's winning that battle right there, and maybe he gets popped. Could be. And hey, listen, the pass was complete. So aren't we nitpicking at this point? We probably are. But I use that to say you're not getting that against Texas Tech.
No,
you're not, because it's So
And that's what
now
I'd be
you
doing if I
hope-
was Tech. I would be pressuring him constantly.
I would probably run a little more disguise than teams have been running. Teams have not been disguising him, and it's been getting to him.
I mean, I just don't know why you need to disguise. What are we scared of? What
you don't really need to disguise.
I mean, he's
You
not.
don't.
This is not Fernando Mendoza. This is not Ty Simpson. This is not a quarterback that's gonna, burn you over the top. If your secondary is being disciplined the way theirs is, I mean, there's no reason not to be pressuring him a lot in this game. I mean, that to me, if you're Tech, you have to do that. I mean, early in this game, I mean, I'm almost saying, hey, show me that you can beat me over the top, and then we'll start changing our plan. Hey, show me that you know how to, adjust pre-snap, right? Like if we've got, if Tech's got 8 guys at the line pre-snap, show me you know how to handle that, dude. Show me, because I don't think you can. With all due respect,
I would agree. I think it's going to be fascinating. This is why we're football fans.
But I'm just telling you, BYU fan, your red assery over Bear Bachmeier will get humbled at some point. This kid will hit a ceiling this season because he's a kid. He's a freshman. At some point, you get to a level of competition, and hey, maybe that's not this week. Maybe he goes into Lubbock, dominates them, has a Heisman-level performance, and we're all idiots and ain't never seen a football game before, ain't never seen a freshman play a football game at the college level. But I'm just telling you, the cat's good for 1 interception this week. I am terrified of a fumble while he's running, not because of him, but because of how opportunistic and how good Tech is at creating fumbles. See the Utah game if you would like a display on how to punch the football out. And furthermore, I just think that BYU fan doesn't want to say, we've made a lot of plays, and we've had some 50-50 balls that have gone our way to get to this point, but we're going to have to be better than that in this game to win on the road. You understand that this place, they're already lined up outside the building right now. Do you understand what's happening? Like, have you been following it in Lubbock? Like, this is a no joke. Everybody in Lubbock is out for you type game. So I'm just telling you guys,
it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be out of your mind.
And I think but Gordon, you guys cannot. Are you trolling or are you being serious with this?
Yeah, is this like a genuine comment?
Did he get hit against Utah? He did. I would also ask you, has anybody they've played in the last month been even close to the level of ferocity and talent that Texas Tech brings on defense? You can't really believe that Iowa State's defense can be compared to Texas Tech's defense. Do you understand the level of disparity that exists between Texas and let's use that. Let's use this as an example. Do you understand the level of disparity that exists between Iowa State's performance and Texas Tech's performance? Do you understand that in passing, when you look at average defensively, do you understand that Iowa State gives up 212 yards a game? And when you look at Texas Tech, they're the 5th best pass defense in the conference at 196. And you're going to say, well, Monty, that's only 16 yards difference. Do you understand how much different that is? Do you understand that when you start looking at things like defensive efficiency, do you understand that Texas Tech is 105.5 and Iowa State's 128? the span between those two defenses is the Grand Canyon can't cover it. Yeah, I like that's crazy to me. That when you start looking at Texas Tech and Iowa State's got 7 interceptions, Tech's got 10. Iowa State gives up 5 more percentage points in completion. Do you understand that Texas Tech is giving up 55% passing? Third. They're third. Now, who's number 2? BYU. So, what have we been saying all week long? The 3 best defenses in this conference, 2 of them are going to be on the field Saturday together against each other. So, this idea that, like, you look at let me ask you this. Why did Bear struggle so much to throw the ball on Arizona? Oh, that's right, because that's probably the best pass defense in the conference. So what do you think? And up front, Arizona cannot even compete. Cannot even compete. When we talk about rushing defense, the difference in running defense between Texas Tech and Iowa State. Do you understand that Texas Tech gives up half the yards per game that Iowa State gives up on the ground? Do you understand that Arizona gives up 138.4 yards a game running? Texas Tech gives up 74. The span. And then you can go look at any of these other. Utah gives up 144 yards rushing a game. Texas Tech gives up 74. And you want to tell me that, oh, the last 5 weeks are the same, Monty? Bro, the difference it's night and day, because the talent at Texas Tech is so much significantly better than pretty much everybody but BYU and Utah's defense. And they're still exponentially better against the run than either one of those defenses. So, Hurricane. I don't know what hurricane you're talking about. What does that mean? This is BYU's biggest game since the national championship game that they won. I totally agree with that. I think it is. It's everything you want. It is everything that you want. And there is not enough accolades for these defenses. There truly is not. I mean, wow, is that a true stat? In 9 games, Texas Tech has only given up 5 rushing touchdowns? That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, you guys can keep waxing and slurping Bear all you want. Texas Tech is not allowing this cat to go over the top, and you're going to have to throw it underneath and run after the catch to win this game. That's how you're going to win this game. That's it. You're not running between the tackles. You're going to have a really tough time out on the edge because they're a really disciplined defense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. You can call me a hater. You can call me an a-hole, whatever you want. Like, I've seen what this team's done against other teams. Like, nobody's reinventing their team at this point in the year. Nobody, we know who you are. We know what your strengths are. We know what your weaknesses are, man. And I'm sorry, but Tech is a good team for a reason.
Yeah.
And I am not picking
BYU's a good team for a reason.
They are a good team for a reason, but I'm not picking against Texas Tech and Lubbock for their season. If this was week 1 or week 2, okay, different conversation. Not as much film, hey, there's not as much on the line. Bro, this is for basically a guaranteed bid to the CFP. And you understand that, right? Whoever wins this game is pretty much auto-tracked into the CFP because they're not going to penalize you for losing the Big 12 championship game if that were to happen. So
yeah, Texas Tech, if they lose this game, I think is done.
Yeah. So like you're playing for everything in this game, dude. And by the way, I also think we've spent 90 minutes talking about Bear Bachmeier. Let's spend 5 minutes talking about Bear and Morton. Like Bear and Morton's got some stuff on the line here. This guy's got to right the ship on the narrative that he's not here for big games. That
Yeah.
he is not a big time performer. That a big game rolls up in a big environment and he can't handle it. Like I understand the guy's a gamer. I give him a ton of credit for the punishment he took against Utah and getting back up and trying to survive that game. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that. And BYU's defense is more than happy to beat your ass. And they've shown that repeatedly. Multiple times.
Only undefeated of the elites in this conference. I think it, and BYU's earned the accolades. BYU has earned the confidence. I mean, again, you're in the elites of college football. You're undefeated. You're 8-0, not accidentally. I mean, I think you are at this point clearly the best team in the conference. And you have a chance to reinforce that narrative. You have a chance to drive that home. And it's going to come down to, I think the quarterbacks are going to win this game. And it's going to be a throwing contest because neither one of these teams likes to let you run the ball. And I think that the interesting stat, I was perusing PFF advanced stats last night, premium stats. Do you guys know BYU's defense has played the fewest snaps in the entire Big 12? I think it's like 517 snaps because the offense runs the ball well. They keep them on, they get off the field, and BYU's defense or BYU's offense is converted. Do they get off the field? Does the defense get off the field? Like, is this going to be, because I think if Texas Tech has their way, won't this be a quick strike shootout? I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. So, all right, a couple more because we have spent an hour and 36 minutes talking about BYU. Time for Barron to exercise his demons and ball out. Amen to that. And he's been really, listen, Barron Morton has been much better at home. He is a much, much, much better quarterback at home. And I think Bear actually has been just as good at home as he's been on the road. But when you look at his numbers on the road, he's a very average quarterback. Barron Morton's a very average quarterback. 12 touchdowns, 1 pick at home. He's rated a 200 at Jones AT&T. He's just a different guy. He's a different guy at home. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see, like, is he ready to play? Is he injured, or was that a quarterback change happening? I got to think I got to believe that he is. I have to believe that he was hurt.
Yeah.
I have to believe that he was hurt.
Yeah.
I have to think, because I listen again. I go back and I listen to what Joey Mack said about that, and I have to believe that he was hurt.
Yeah, must have been. I don't know. Apparently, by the way, I know that we've spent 90 minutes hating on BYU, but I guess now we hate Texas Tech because now we're getting comments like this one.
Fuck me.
I'm a Texas Tech fan, and the way you guys talk shames our team. We can get beat by any team if you haven't noticed by all the upsets in the Big 12. You guys are not humble, but you don't speak for Texas.
What have we said on
what?
any fucking level that would shame Texas Tech? I think I just sat here and throated your defense for 90 minutes. And now we're shaming.
Stuck in a ding dong.
I don't even, where did that comment go? Here it is. And now I'm shaming Texas Tech.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
That's why I said I think we're doing it right. Matt says, I think if Morton was healthy, I think Tech covers. 10.5 is a huge number against an elite defense. Like, that is, I think that's going to be really, really tough. That's going to be really tough to cover 10.5. Yeah, I mean, you cover 10.5. Oh, your prediction has shamed Cougar Nation.
I mean, it's just, I just don't know how that maths, dude. I don't know how we just came up with that we're shaming Texas Tech.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. BYU is going to come out resenting the fact that they're 10.5 dogs, and they're going to be looking for that respect that they think they deserve. Oh, and I can guarantee you Kalani's selling that. Nobody thinks we're good. They don't respect us. These are the same people who didn't want us in this conference for a decade. Fuck them. Well, you wouldn't go that far. But my point is,
Wow.
wow. I think he's going to use that. There's no doubt. Whoa. Jay says, we need James to make his pick so I know which way to lay the money. Exactly. Bryce, he always had injury problems since his freshman year. That's who he is at this point. Well, aren't you Tyler Shuck then? Right? I mean,
It's better theoretically, but
yeah. I shamed. Game is simple. If BYU goes down by 2 scores and has to throw the ball, BYU has no chance. Bears gotten better every week.
but the Iowa State game.
Yeah. I was actually happy that you slurped my team because I was worried you were going to change your pick, Monty. I think it's going to be shame. I think it's going to be a very close game. I have to think it's going to be a very close game. Billy says, I'm shamed that I'm watching this. You could be. The Natural, Cry Me a River. Cry Me a River. Hit the soundbite from the Texas Tech fan. I mean, it is amazing. And again, I think this is how you know I've done the job today. We've done the job today. BYU fans pissed, Tech fans pissed.
And you two motherfuckers need Jesus.
Joey's like, Brigham's pissed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oh, what a loser!
Yeah. I guess so, dude. Man, we've pissed people off and we haven't even talked about Pat McAfee yet. Damn. What a day.
BYU with the win. Could be right. Touche tortillas.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
Enzo says you have brought shame to your show. Great shame.
Yeah. I mean, just incredible shame.
Shame. Phil Benzer, you guys must have dementia. Terrible dementia. Tortillas are so shamed. They will not leave their cellophane wrapping. You charting all of this, James? Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know. Listen, it is what it is. I feel shamed, and I'm not a fan of either team. Shame. I love that drop, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great drop.
Monty in the hoodie, your work is done here.
Yeah. I mean, should we just retire? Like, have we done such a good job at this point of pissing everybody off that you guys are all what do we have, 7,000 of you listening today? And now we've shamed BYU. We've shamed Texas Tech. The show has been shamed all together. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Come on.
Twitter's been going crazy.
It is pretty interesting to me that this is where we end up. Like it just is. It is what it be. Let's see, a couple more. Martin Aaron. I'm a lifetime BYU fan. Absolutely love what Bear is doing. Yes, he did have a good game throwing the ball versus Iowa State, but the numbers are a little deceiving. About half the yards were yak. Yeah. Well, and listen, that's what I said. I'm not telling you. And hear me clearly on this. Because Monday I'm coming for that ass, Monty.
You just hate BYU. I'm going to come and tell you how it is.
I'm taking your Temple recommend, boy. Could be. Shame. Bear Bachmeier does not suck. He does.
But you said he did, Monty. You said he sucks.
He's not a bad quarterback. He's inexperienced.
Because it's garbage.
He's inexperienced. Just simple as that. Win or lose, I think I'll have to be here Monday. You better.
Yeah, you damn right you're going to be here.
Feeling a Belichick vibe with the hoodie today, boys. I'm not.
I don't know. It just was, dude. It was moody as hell out today, and I was like, you know what?
I'm wearing a quarter zip.
You're wearing a hoodie.
I'm not like. I got on the scale this morning, and I'm at a new low, a new Zep bound low. I broke through the plateau.
Nice.
Nice. What a bunch of sensitive crybabies.
Yes, Utah fan has arrived, bro.
God, I needed
Yes.
Greg Hawkins in the chat so badly today.
Dude, incredible effort, Greg, as usual. You saved us.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
If BYU wins, does it eliminate Tech from the playoffs? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, where
'Cause
was
they
that
are-
graphic you had? The percentage graphic. What are
Yeah,
they like?
they
50-something%?
Yeah, they
Tech
are
right
what is
now?
it, 51%. Yeah, 51.
Where are they? Yeah, 51.6. So I mean, yeah, you're pretty much done at that point, dude.
BYU 74.1. So, you know what? Interesting. I can't remember somebody was telling me today that Dante Moore is coming back to Oregon. Who was I talking to about that? Some Oregon guy was telling me today it's done. Huh. Okay. Oh, it was Marcus, our TV guy. Marcus was telling me that.
Marcus
Marcus has been remarkable. He hates BYU. Marcus hates it. I am here every day, unlike Utah fan. Whoa, Maury Alvarez.
Throwing shade.
Throwing. I love it. Utah is still the best team in the conference. Okay.
Keep telling yourself
You mean
that,
the Big
bud.
Ten? I think Utah is very good. I am impressed that Utah has not collapsed. I think Utah has put themselves in a position. They need help, but Utah's put them in a position to be a catch-all, right? I mean, their season's certainly not over. They have a ton to play for. Zach says, does the committee really drop Tech below Utah with a Tech law? Oh, I think so.
I think you have to, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, hell, put the rankings back up. I mean, if you lose.
Yeah, this was surprising. Surprising. Right? This is what Zach's talking about. Like you look at this. Tech is 8th. Excuse me. Tech is 8th there. Utah's 13th. If Tech loses this game, I mean, Texas is the one that's really interesting because I still think, I know BYU fan was on my TikTok comment section the other day telling me that Bear Bachmeier is better than Arch. Okay. If Texas wins out, Texas is going to the playoff. If they lose another game, they're out. If Texas Tech loses another game, they're out. If Oregon loses another game, they're out. If Notre Dame, if Oklahoma, if Utah, this is not accidental. I think the only teams who can lose games are Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Bama, and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ole Miss is on a very thin rope. I think BYU is on a very thin rope. And I think that's just the reality of where the Big 12 is, frankly. I'm waiting for CFP Holy War. My God, that would be amazing. Bryce Martin, the triple threat between BYU, Tech, and Utah is amazing.
It is. It's incredible. Yeah.
801 West Valley. It's the quality loss everybody brands. What do you mean? It's the quality loss everybody brand about, though. Well, if Tech loses to BYU, there would be a fight, certainly. Certainly. I don't know if BYU can lose one. I don't know. I was listening to Josh Pate on Get Up this morning. And he agrees with me that if BYU loses, they're going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to get in.
Yeah,
Utah
I don't think you can lose one.
Utah would have beat BYU if Whittingham just took the points. Could have been. Look, Mo Vaughn, settle down. Geoff is a huge Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles fan. Huge. Are you going to be upset when they trade Trout? Because there's some belief they're going to trade Trout.
Like they should have, 10 years ago?
Like he should have, It'll be interesting. What about this quality loss bull defecation? I truly don't. I have zero belief in this committee.
Well, let's be honest, dude. There's no such thing as a quality loss for a Big 12 team. That doesn't work. In the Big 12,
well, what do you expand on that? What do you mean by that?
Well, because the SEC can have a quality loss. The SEC, in the SEC, you can have. I mean, look at any of these teams right here. I mean, is this really breaking news? Like in the SEC, dude. I mean, A&M can have a loss, right? Bama can have a loss, right? Georgia can have a loss, but BYU, because they're a Big 12 team, can't have a loss, right? Tech obviously can't have a loss just because then you've lost too many at that point. But I'm just simply saying that when you look at this and then you look at the bracket, it's like, hey man, like ultimately, I mean, right now you're slated to play Notre Dame if nothing changes. So, I just don't think that there's such a thing as a quality loss in the Big 12 because the committee is so harsh on Big 12 teams that you're at a point where you essentially have to do what Oregon did last year. You have to go undefeated, and that's your most assured way of getting to where you want to go. Not just the CFP, but making sure that when you're in your conference championship game, that if you do lose that game, they're not going to penalize you for that. If you're undefeated in the regular season and your only loss is the championship game, you're good. I think at that point you're fine.